Hello. Today we're going to change the toilet fill valve. It seems like it's an easy process, which it should be, but sometimes it's not that easy because first of all, we're gonna have to shut the water off. Now this is where most of the problems, the big problem is that little valve there, the on and off valve, water shut off. If you don't have one that is easy to turn, it's going to be a nightmare because it's going to be difficult to turn, or it's going to, you might even have to use pliers, you might have to put force on it. So just be prepared in case that happens. Okay, let me see. In my case, the inside, the internal parts, and all the gaskets have been changed, and all I need is the toilet valve, fill valve that goes inside the water tank. So now I'm gonna remove the cover. Put the camera over here on the side. Be careful when you remove the cover because if it breaks, you got problems. Now the reason that I don't have any problems with opening and shutting my water system here inside is because since I set these toilets in here, and this, you can see the date there, 2010 or 2022, every time that I remember, at least once or twice a month, I turn the on and off, so it's very easy. I had already turned it off, the water supply, I had turned it off, and I had already started removing this, but I forgot I was going to film this because as easy as it may seem, it's difficult when you don't know how to do things. Once you learn, it's all right. Now this here and all of this in here was replaced, as you can see, on the 2020, 2 years ago. But in our system, or the pipes that we have in this old house, it has a lot of particles in the water, and they get in the way of the valve. So it was started leaking last night. It wouldn't stop. This was leaking into the. It wouldn't stop. So I had to go get another one. So the next thing I did is I turned the water off last night. Then I went and bought the fill valve, and I undid the bottom part here. As you can see, I had already started. Took the trash can, placed it so that if there's any water in it, it can leak in there. So now I'm gonna take this other one off at the bottom. I had already started loosening it up. I emptied the water tank. Make sure you empty the water tank, clean out the water. Okay, there's no water in there. Take this off. I'm an old man, and when I first started when I first got home, all of this stuff was copper lines and welded stuff, and it was a hassle, a nightmare. Nowadays, you don't need anything, you just need your little fingers. And now I'm gonna pull this out, the valve. Comes out easily. I'm gonna have to remove this here, this little water hose there. I'm gonna see if I can get the tripod. I'm gonna turn it off for a little bit. Okay, here's the tripod now. I set it up. I'm gonna set the camera on my custom made attachment there. So I'm gonna turn it off again. Okay, I think I got it set. So now I'm gonna open the box here. It has some new stuff. Turn the camera a little bit. Check and see that everything's in it. Looks like it's the same. So now I attach this here. This goes forced in there. Twist it, it'll go in. Okay, and we check and see that the gasket is on it. This is going to go in the bottom to attach it to the water bowl, to the tank. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the camera, and what we do next is that we make sure that the base of the hole is clean. Sometimes particles, otherwise it'll leak and everything. You don't need pliers. Well, I haven't used pliers. Now we're gonna have to remove this little hose here. Let's see, we don't want to overwork these things here because they can easily break. And as you can see, there's a lot of minerals in our water. You see, this is supposed to be black. There you go. It's supposed to be black, and that's also what messes up. Here's the other part. No, this is a new one. This is the old ring. So we'll use the new one. I'm gonna see if I can remove this little hose here. Hold this tight. There you go. Now you see all that mineral? Our water, hard water, is really bad here. And look at this. Look at that. We didn't get this before, but about 6 years ago or something like that, the city started putting fluoride in the water. And I myself think that's what started building it, because we didn't used to have that stuff. So I'm gonna remove this, the old one. You gotta make sure you haven't had any coffee. Yes. And I don't like to eat until I get my jobs done, because then it's harder on me. So now I'm gonna go ahead and set the valve. I'm gonna set it here. Okay, I'm gonna turn it a little bit to the side the way the other one was. I'm gonna attach the ring at the bottom. There you go. There you go. I'm attaching it to the bottom of the water tank. Turning it. I'm not gonna tighten it yet. Again, this is my personal experience. I'm no professional. But I called 2 plumbers here in the city I live in, and I asked them how much would they charge just to change this. And they both had different prices just to show up. One of them was $100 just to show up. And the other one's $125 plus labor and the parts. I was a teacher, and man, I just retired about a year ago after 44 years. And as a teacher, I never made that much money as a plumber does. So plumbing's a good thing. Okay, I'm trying to get this in there without moving it too much. You have to be patient. Say a little prayer before you start. This just goes to show you how you can have a little trouble. See, I have to open this open that there. I think I got it. There you go. Okay. Now I'm gonna tighten the ring. I'm going to the bottom over here, outside the water tank, and you don't want to super tighten it because then the plastic ring can twist on you. Okay, so now I'm going to turn off the camera a little bit so I can show you what I'm doing at the bottom. I don't know if the camera was on or off, I'm sorry. But anyway, I tightened this one here. Oh God, I hope I filmed everything. Didn't pay attention. So now I tightened this a little bit. That's tightened there. Now I'm gonna check and see. I'm gonna open the water. Slowly. Checking to see if there's any water dripping here at the bottom. I'll open it more slowly. Now we're going to check here. I don't see any dripping. As you saw, I didn't have any problems turning the valve. But like I tell you, I try to turn them at least twice a month. I go 1, 2, 3. There's the water coming out, and hopefully it stops where it's supposed to. There you go. Yeah. If it didn't stop where you needed it, then you have to do the adjustments. Do you see this here? So that this floater comes up higher and is pushed by the water, and it shuts it off here. Okay, it shuts the top over here. Here's the water coming out. This is the on and off. When this drops, the water comes on and it starts filling up. This little handle here, the screw here, will raise it or lower it depending on the water line that you are trying to accomplish. Now we're gonna flush it. Let me take the tripod out of the way. I don't see any water droplets in the bottom. Now we're going to flush it. We're going to test it again. Let's see if it comes up. Now the pricing right now, the pricing on this one that I just bought was $8.00 with tax. I bought it at a hardware store, popular one, but I went to a popular store and they were $8 and something, almost $1 more if you add the tax to it. So I saved myself $120, the cheapest plumber, plus the parts, plus the labor. Not bad. Now, again, the trick is to don't do this. I'm going to show you how easy mine opens and shuts. if you can't do this easily. You see? 1, I always go 3 times. 2, you see how easy? Because what happens, the majority of us, I bet right now, if any of you go to your either the sink or in the kitchen or the restroom or the toilets, if you try to turn your shut-off valves, the majority are not going to be able to do it. You're going to have to force it. Another problem is that once you get those pliers and you try to turn it, you better be prepared because it's probably going to leak. Now the valves that I have here are the ball valves. They don't have gaskets. I don't like the gaskets anymore because they have the rubber gasket inside, and when you shut it off, you shut it off, and then with time that rubber would turn to or just the water minerals that get on it, it'll crystallize and it'll crack. And like I said, many of us haven't touched this in years, and now if you try to go open it, you're gonna have a nightmare. So don't do it unless you're prepared. When I couldn't open the old kind of valves, I would just shut the water off outside. But out here in this house, I have 12 of these valves. And I have 3 outside to shut the water from the house. I turn them off and on 3 times without forcing them, at least once a month. Not 1 month goes by without. And the reason it isn't that I like doing it, but I hate to be paying a lot of money when I don't do my part. I can't afford it. I'm retired now. Okay, so we're gonna flush it one more time. As easy as it looks, it is. But that valves over there are the ones that are gonna give you nightmares. There you go. There you go. So, before you change the toilet fill valve, this one here, before you change it, you gotta make sure that you shut the water off. If you cannot shut it off, you better be prepared to pay for a plumber, or you do it, but you're gonna have to replace that valve over there, and that's another story. I'm talking from experience and nightmares that I've had with these things. We have 3 toilets in this house. Now I'm gonna date here that I replaced it with my marker, so I'll keep track of it. So now I've dated it April 29, 2022, fill valve. Remember, the last time that I replaced everything in here was 9/24/20, and this toilet was in here 2010. I put it in here. It's been here 12 years now, and as you can see, it's nice and white in there. No mold, no mildew or anything like that. Don't put chemicals in them or anything like that. And the reason that we have no buildup of mildew or mold in there is because when I put the lid back on, and if I can set this here, let's see. I try to leave some space where air can come through. So I move it to the front. You can see there. You see? It's not even. So that air comes through. Okay, you can see it in there. But I don't have to worry about a lot. It's just my wife and I, so we don't have kids. So in your case, you gotta make sure and put it on safely, or check and see that you have a little ventilation in there. So that's how you change the toilet valve. Then check and see for drips. Thank you, Lord. He helped me. There's no leaks. And remember, if you want to have a safe non-emergency, get into the habit, especially if you have newer ones, that you turn this valve. I do it 3 times gently. You can see how easy it is to turn it. And again, those have been here 12 years. Okay? Well, I hope this can help you. I hope this was helpful so that you can do it yourself. And please subscribe. I also have some drawing films, videos, not films, it goes to show you how old I am. Videos, drawing videos, cooking videos, and everyday experiences. Thank you, and God bless.